I'm Gina Mizell here at Reser Stadium with Oregon State beat partner Connor Letourneau, where on Saturday, Oregon State won its season opener 29-14 over Portland State. Obviously not the prettiest victory overall for the Beavers. Lots of penalties, lots of missed opportunities in the red zone, and now this team goes on to face Hawaii in Honolulu this coming weekend. And so I guess as we look ahead to this upcoming contest, what are the biggest things that need to be fixed with this team? Because obviously there were some good things, most notably the turnovers and the shutout by the defense in the second half against Portland State, but obviously a lot of things to fix, both offensively and maybe just cleaning up some things on the discipline side.
Well, definitely kind of building off the discipline. They need to cut down on the penalties. You know, a little bit over midway through that first half, they already were in double-digit penalties, which they were just shooting themselves in the foot. They looked disorganized, out of sorts. They didn't seem like they really knew what they were doing. They kind of calmed down as the game progressed, but you really need to limit those. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. Second thing is the offense. And when I say offense, I mean the whole offense. The tight ends were pretty solid today. Mannion leaned on them, especially pretty early, which was understandable. We expected that. But we didn't see a lot out of really anyone else. I want to see Mulaney prove that he can be a number one option. I want to see Bolden prove that he can really start shouldering the burden of replacing a Brandon Cooks. Maybe he won't be Cooks, but start stepping toward that goal. So I really think they just need to take leaps and bounds forward.
Yeah, I mean, one part of the offense you didn't mention is the offensive line. And I mean, the first play of the game against Portland State, snap over the head of Sean Mannion, which Mike Riley said, I didn't see that at all in camp, which we didn't see that at all in camp either. So I don't know if that was just first game nerves or whatever. Sean Harlow had a couple holding penalties. Other guys had hands to the face or holding penalties. And so obviously that's a huge part of the offense that needs to be shored up. Isaac Seumalo will be back eventually, but until then, it needs to be shored up. And when you talked about the receivers, we knew that Connor Hamlet and Caleb Smith would get catches. We knew that Richard Mulaney would get catches. We knew that Victor Bolden would get catches, but all we kept hearing about all offseason was how other young guys need to step up, and it needs to be a collective effort. Well, no catches from Hunter Jarman, no catches from Jordan Billiman, no catches from Richard or Malik Gilmore. There were even times where I didn't even know they were on the field. So how do they fix that going forward?
Well, I was talking to Bolden today, and he's just like, we just need to get better. I really think it's as simple as that. They weren't open. That's really the reason why Manny didn't target them. I don't think it was so much that he just felt like he needed to lean on the tight ends because he only trusted them. I think it's because they were open and the other players weren't. So that's really what it comes down to. They just need to get better at running their routes. They need to kind of figure out what they're doing a little bit more.
Well, we know that Sean Mannion can run a touchdown in, though. That was maybe the surprise of the offense on Saturday. But looking at the other side of the ball defensively, obviously big plays coming in droves in that second half where it seemed like every other play Tyreek Zimmerman was making interception, Michael Doctor was pouncing on a ball, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you put the defense right now? Because I think people were probably surprised with how poorly they played in the first half. Not so much by the yards they gave up, although they did give up a lot of quarterback rushing yards, which has been an issue in the past, but just with the undisciplined play from such a veteran group. What do you sense the spot that this unit is in going into this Hawaii game?
I think they're in a good spot, honestly. I mean, obviously they had a tough first half, but that second half to me was very inspiring. They did exactly what they needed to do against Portland State. They started limiting the yards on the ground, which was really the big problem in that first half. If you look at this game, Portland State really only hurt them in yards on the ground from Paris Penn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all they were able to get going. So to me, you kind of work on reading and learning how to pick up what a mobile quarterback does, because obviously that's going to be huge heading into Pac-12 play, given that almost every quarterback can make plays on his feet.
Right.
So that to me is going to be the biggest learning point for them. But as of the first game, I think they're in a good spot. For me, all the question marks really lie with the offense at this point.
All right, well, when you look at this Hawaii team, not a good football team at all. One of the worst in Division I, FBS level.
Might not even exist in a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Those reports were out later. What are your first impressions? Obviously, Norm Chow is the coach there. Obviously, this is a team that Oregon State played last year, and you were here. I was not here yet. What do you just kind of maybe expect from this game overall as we kind of give a very early look at this opponent?
Well, they have a good running back, Iosefa, the senior running back, and that's going to be big, kind of stuffing the run with them because they don't have any proven wide receivers. They have several receivers out for the year already. They have an unproven quarterback who's barely played. I think if they can stop the run, and this is keeping in mind that I haven't done a ton of research on Hawaii quite yet, but if they can just stop the run, I think they'll be in a good spot. And even if they can't completely stop the run, Hawaii's just not a talented team. I actually think that Portland State could beat Hawaii, so I think they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will have all your coverage leading up to that game, and we get to go to Hawaii this week. I've never been to Hawaii, so I'm pretty excited about that. But until then, keep reading all of our stories on Oregon Live in the Oregonian. We will give you everything you need to know leading up to that game. So for Connor Letourneau, I'm Gina Mizell here at Reser Stadium. We will catch you this week here on Oregon Live.